Today we're doing something a little differently, and I'm calling it a time capsule, this series of mine. So if you saw my last video, you know that I have recently deconstructed and I have walked away from religion. Therefore, I'm not producing religious content right now because I'm in a weird spot. So I shouldn't be producing content for other people. So instead, I'm going to do some fun series, and this one is called Time Capsule, in which I'm going to pick a random year from the time in which I was hyper religious and therefore missed a lot of culture, like pop culture news and things that was happening. And we're going to pick a random year and we're just going to open it up like a time capsule. So this video, we're looking at 2016. I have a whole document full of notes. I just scoured for notes, and we're just going to go through and look at some of the interesting things that were happening that year. So my notes are right here and I have tons of them. So I'm just going to sift through them together. We're going to see if we can make some sense of all this together. Let's start with music, shall we? Our first artifact out of the time capsule, Beyonce's Lemonade. Not just an album, but a cultural event. 2016 was a pretty big year for Beyonce, and unless you were living under a rock, you likely remember when Lemonade dropped. Even me, who was hyper religious at this point and was not consuming a lot of secular content, I still remember when Lemonade dropped. I still remember Becky. Where is she? Who is she? Why is her hair so great? Who does she think she is? I still remember all of that. Let's set the stage. So, it is Super Bowl Sunday. And it's not just any Super Bowl, it's the 50th Super Bowl. So it's a big deal. And Beyonce is performing. And she completely blows minds as she both drops the single formation and performs it. Her performance on this cold Sunday completely shut down the Super Bowl halftime show. She had a Black Panther inspired halftime show performance.
Okay, ladies, now let's get that formation. Who to me, you got some coordination. You just might be a Black Bill Gates in the making.
And the term "I slay" instantly became a catchphrase. Phrase all across America. And I will give a quick sidebar to that because I did find that in my notes, but actually the term slay originated in Black and Hispanic LGBTQ plus ballroom culture, which is interesting. That's actually where that comes from. The term "I slay" or "you slay" or all that comes from brown, queer ballroom culture. And then Drag Race made it popular, and then Beyonce cemented it into like the zeitgeist of like general slang. So there's your slay reference. I do want to give all the credit to Beyonce. We must also acknowledge the girlies and the divas. So let's look up some lyrics to Formation, because I have to admit I listened to Formation for the first time while doing research for this video. Because the only part I really ever knew was, ladies, now let's get information. That's the only part I really knew. And so I listened to it, and this is going to be shocking, but it's a great song. Isn't that crazy that here I am in 2025 discovering songs from basically 10 years ago, and I'm like, have you heard this new Formation song? So before stepping into religion, huge Destiny's Child fan, huge Beyonce fan. And then obviously in the religious delusion, we didn't listen to secular things like that. But I know Beyonce, and this is just so different from what she had produced up until this point, Formation. It's just so different. It's so political. It's so black and proud that it's just incredible. And so she performs it at the halftime show, and of course, huge controversy. My favorite line in Formation, just on a side note, is I just might be a Black Bill Gates in the making. That's so good. For you, Queen. Though I don't love billionaires. Just jumping in, I'm editing the video. That's why I look like this. But I'm editing this video, and I decided So I mentioned that I've never seen I didn't watch the halftime performance that year. And so I did listen to Formation in preparation for this video, and I love the song. It's now in my library and it's in rotation. But I hadn't watched the halftime show, so I decided to actually watch the halftime performance. And I'm glad I did, because immediately I'm like, wait a minute, misinformation alert. Beyonce did not host this Super Bowl, which is fascinating to me, that in so much of my like researching, like this is referenced as Beyonce's Super Bowl. It's actually Coldplay's it's Coldplay's Super Bowl. Because I don't know if you know how Super Bowls work, but like usually it's the artist pays for all of it and they host the whole Super Bowl. So it wasn't her Super Bowl, it was Coldplay's Super Bowl. So anyways, so there's that. The other thing that I noticed as I'm watching it, one, incredible performance. But two, it's like I don't understand why people are mad. Honestly, I'm underwhelmed once, like, after reading about like how upset people were and like reading comments on posts and things of like people who were like really upset about this Super Bowl performance. I don't understand. Honestly, I thought it was a really wonderful performance. I thought it was great. And then at the end, I'll put a clip here, but there's like this whole kumbaya moment where it's like all about connectedness and togetherness, or at least that's the vibe, like that they're all like singing together. And it's like, so I don't know why people were so mad. I don't really see a lot of anti-police sentiment. I feel like if you're looking for anti-police sentiment, maybe you could find it in Black people celebrating being Black. Maybe you could choose that, but I don't understand it. So anyways, watching it, I didn't understand the controversy in the moment when people were upset about it. But now having seen it, I don't understand. I think it's maybe blown out of proportion. Maybe it wasn't as big a deal as it now looks like online as I'm gathering information. Maybe people weren't as mad. But I know Beyonce did have to come out and make a statement, which I mentioned in a couple minutes as we keep going through the video. So I just wanted to come in with these updates, and that's all I needed. Okay, bye. The critics read her halftime show as anti-police, of course. And so that, of course, tons of hashtags like hashtag boycott Beyonce. And of course, then the Beehive rises up. And so then you have counter hashtags also were trending of hashtag I stand with Beyonce. And so it was just like a little social media war that night on the internet. And Beyonce, for the most part, largely just shrugged it off, saying that her art was misunderstood. And then she just carried on leading this cultural conversation that she had started. And so Lemonade drops the next day, I believe. I'm pretty sure it came out the day after the Super Bowl. And this is an album that was a surprise, is my understanding. No one knew this was coming. Like, Beyonce fans didn't know this was coming. And so when it drops, it was like a huge surprise. And then it's also not just an album, it's a visual album. And up until this point, I don't really recall anybody else doing visual albums. So those two things, I think, alone would have made this just such a huge deal. But then the content matter that she covers in it, because Formation's just the beginning. Like, it's like Beyonce just woke up and said, all right, let's be political. Let's remind everybody that I'm proud Southern Black woman. And then she also airs out marital issues. We all know about Becky and her hair and just what it's like to be a Black woman in America. And so it's a mixed bag. You've got the people you would expect to be upset about such a display of Black pride, of apprehension from the police, of all these things. The people you would expect to be mad, they were very mad. The people you would expect to love it, they loved it. And it was a really big cultural moment. And that was Lemonade. The craziest parts, though, of Lemonade to me would be when the internet sometimes. So when someone does something wrong, you can't be vague. If you come on the internet being vague, you are arming your audience to go and find people that might be who it is. And so that's kind of what happened here. We heard about Becky with the good hair. We found out Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce with her. And so people went nuts and they started looking for people on the internet, and they found a couple wrong people. And one person I remember was Rachel Ray, the 30-minute meals lady who just cooks. She's just cooking. She's married. She has like dogs. She's just like, and the Beehive descended upon this poor innocent lady and are pissed at her for screwing Jay-Z. And she's like, it's gold. It's just good gold. I also heard that the sales of mini bottles of hot sauce spiked after the release of Lemonade. I did not hear that. I just made that up. Next up, we have to talk about Drake. So 2016 was a huge year for Drake. It is arguably probably one of his biggest years. He released the album Views, and it was really critically acclaimed album. He debuted on Billboard 100's top 100 spots. I don't even know. He did that. Apparently I need to go look at the cover, so let's go look at the cover of the Views album. Where is he? Oh, Views, because he's way up there. I get it. It's angsty. So I don't know if Drake will still be popular after everything that is currently happening. I think what made Drake so different was that he embraced his emotions, which is just not often something you see a ton in rap. And rather than lean into that, it wants to be a different type of rapper than what I think he naturally was. That's my opinion. Everyone wants to know my opinion on the current Drake drama. But anyways, 2016 Drake, though, had no idea that 2025 was coming for him, and 2024. So, anyways, this album was huge. And he was extremely popular. He was doing great. He was doing those silly dance moves that kept going viral. He's got the Hotline Bling. He's doing the whole thing. And Drake always just kind of, I don't know, he just seems like your brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like he could be my brother, and it freaks me out. I don't know. It's gross. Anyways, that's all I'm really gonna say about Drake. It was a good year for him. He released a great album, Views. It was basically his diary set to a beat, and it was very popular. It was unique, and it did great. I mostly mention Drake so that I can move on to Rihanna. Artifact number 3, Rihanna's Anti. And she also dropped an album, and I don't remember this album dropping, but I know that Rihanna is like, everyone's always begging this woman for music, and I think it's funny that apparently her whole career has kind of been like that. Like, people being like, we need more music. In January, Anti releases after years of delays. The most popular song on it was that song Work, that song, and Drake was on that song. And then there was that awkward speech where Drake confesses to having been in love with Rihanna for like 22 years, since he was 22. So, and then she sighed. It's awkward. It's not as awkward as people make it out to be. I'll put the clip here.
But most of all, we love the woman who hasn't changed since day one. She's someone I've been in love with since I was 22 years old.
It is awkward. What made Work so special was that it embraced Caribbean dance hall vibes. And so it was just so catchy. You can't not move when it comes on. And that just made the song, blow up. It was everywhere. All right, we're moving on from music to feuds. Because, of course, we love the drama. Now, Artifact. What artifact are we on? Artifact number whatever, here it is. 2016 Feudorama. Let's just briefly look at the drama that had us all hissing, like Taylor Swift. This is, of course, the Taylor Swift versus Kanye. I don't want to go into it. I feel like this is a dead horse that we have all beat the living daylights out of, that I just don't want to talk about anymore. Kim Kardashian leaks Snapchat footage of Kanye's call with Taylor, where he informs her that he wants to say that he and her might still have sex. And then they use that as like a gotcha. You knew he was doing it. You're just trying to victimize poor Kanye, which here in 2025 is like victimizing poor Kanye. Are you kidding me? Like, no. But so anyways, the problem Taylor had was that Kanye released a song, and in the song there's a line that references Taylor Swift. It says they might still have sex, and then he says, "I made that bitch famous." Well, Taylor didn't like that because no woman wants a man to claim that he made them famous. And that's the line she took problem with. But anyways, everybody thought this was like an ultimate gotcha. So Taylor Swift's pages were just flooded with snake emojis and just imagery of snakes. And what I love, the best part though, is that Taylor went kind of silent, even though, you know, ultimately in this scenario, she's kind of she's innocent. And she just shows back up and completely embraced it, and we get the Reputation era where she just embraces the snake and the snake within her. And don't we all have a snake within us? So I loved it. I do remember this happening, and I did think it was a fun.
The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead.
It's like Taylor looked at her Instagram comments and she saw all of those snake emojis and she just said, that's fine, I'll make this my aesthetic. If I can't get them to stop, I'll just make it my whole brand for the next year and a half. Iconic. Now let's get to the feud that I actually do find fascinating and intriguing and ridiculous and like all the things. Artifact number 4, I think 5, The Rock's Instagram feud, because nothing says family like calling your coworker a candy ass. So this is like your ultimate alpha clash, okay? You've got muscles, baldness, just going head to head right on the internet in front of everybody. Fast and the Furious 8, that's right. They were up to 8. We're still going in the present day, I think. So Fast and Furious 8 is filming and The Rock is in it with our other favorite muscly bald meathead man, and that's Vin Diesel. And apparently they're just not getting along, these two men, and there's a lot of tension, and The Rock ends up posting an Instagram post calling out unprofessional co-stars, whom of course the internet did digging, and they obviously it's Vin Diesel. Even action heroes need couples therapy, and like these two clearly did. So let me go pull up the tweet. So while I'm looking for this, is it their Instagram? I was raised a WWE, WCW kid. So I grew up with The Rock. So I'm well acquainted with frequent calling people candy ass. And I just think it's so funny that he came to Hollywood and then just began calling other actors that. It's like we're no longer in the wrestling ring. Dwayne, come on. No name calling. All right, here's the text. You can probably hear my laptop trying to literally take off. Sorry, I don't know. So, is this a tweet or is this a... Oh, it's an Instagram, I think. So, he said, this is my final week of shooting hashtag Fast and Furious 8. There's no other franchise that gets my blood boiling more than this one. An incredible, hardworking crew. Universal has been great partners as well. My female co-stars are always amazing and I love them. Sweet. My male co-stars, however, are a different story. This is wild. Some conduct themselves as stand-up men and true professionals while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken shit to do anything about it. Candy asses. When you watch this movie next April and it seems like I'm not acting in some of these scenes and that my blood is legit boiling, you're right. Bottom line is, it'll play great for the movie, and it fits this Hobbs character that's embedded in my DNA really well. So basically, he doesn't like his coworkers, and he's complaining about it on freaking Instagram. And I'm like, in what world is this appropriate behavior? We don't behave this way, Dwayne. Normal people don't get to behave this way. But I guess when you're these two, you do. So he didn't name names, but of course people began assuming that it is obviously Vin Diesel. And so, like, a few months back, and I think the LA Times reached out and asked The Rock about, like, his statements. And actually, I have the whole quote. It says, I was very clear with what I said. I have been in the game a long time. Would Universal Pictures have preferred that to happen? Sure. We talked about it. The irony is that after that, and as they do their tracking and all their analysis, the interest shot through the roof to a whole new level. So I guess he's saying that him being kind of immature and like kind of like a brat on the internet about his coworkers actually helped the movie. So his response to like, why'd you say that, is basically just to pull a Maui and say, you're welcome. Nobody was talking about this movie before. Now we sure as heck are. So now in hindsight, the most like recent updates are that the whole thing was completely blown out of proportion, which I'm sure it was. The whole thing was, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the whole thing was purely publicity. That's purely to promote the movie. But either way, I just think it's funny. It's like the alpha malest of alpha male fights. I'm noticing I found an interview with The Rock where he explains what a candy ass is. So let me get right to it. So a candy ass is something you don't want to be, obviously. And the best way that I can describe a candy ass is life is so much easier, I've found, when you're not full of shit. And a candy ass is completely full of shit. And I know several of these people. So I get them. It's annoying. I just don't think you could go on your Instagram and start complaining about them. Normal people would have consequences for that. Rich people just get richer apparently because your movie did even better for your tantrum. So I guess good job. I don't know. Okay, one more feud. The final artifact. Mariah Carey's sunglasses. Because why acknowledge your rivals when you can literally just choose to not see them? Okay, this one might be my favorite. It's kind of all over the place. I'm going to try to keep it in somewhat of an order. So, this is the J.Lo versus Mariah Carey. I don't know her. And then also Demi somehow makes an appearance in this, Demi Lovato. So, let's do a little history breakdown. I don't actually know when it started, but basically anytime you ask Mariah Carey about Jennifer Lopez, she says that she doesn't. Her response is, I don't know her.
Und was ist mit J.Lo?
I don't know.
Die kenne ich nicht.
Oops.
Right?
And it's funny because every time Jennifer Lopez is asked about Mariah Carey, she's like, I've met her like a dozen times. Like she does. She does know me. I don't know why she always says that.
I went and saw a bunch of shows.
Uh-huh.
And I saw everybody.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see Mariah because at the time she wasn't playing. She hadn't started yet.
Who?
But I saw Britney, I saw Shania.
No, I'm playing because that's what Mariah said about Jennifer one time. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just...
She does say that.
Yeah, she does.
She's forgetful, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. We've met many times. I don't know. I don't know her that well.
Going trend, and Mariah Carey refuses to acknowledge Jennifer Lopez. And I remember back then people felt kind of sorry for J.Lo. They're like, why is Mariah being such a diva? It's like funny and petty, but it's also like, but why are you being mean to her?
Okay.
And then
Do you know each other?
No. Okay.
She says you know her.
Okay, I know she. You know what? I'm very forgetful.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm forgetful.
Yes.
Because I don't remember the fact that it was just like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and then move on.
And then now I feel like we have all that footage of Jennifer Lopez pulling her hair out of the bun and zhuzhing it and being like, oh, this is me in the Bronx, man.
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams.
And now we're all like, okay, I get it. I get why she might have wanted to distance herself from J.Lo. She might be a little cringe to hang out with. A little insufferable, maybe. I don't know. It's just the vibe I'm getting, and I keep hitting this ruler. I need to move it. She's just Jenny from the block. And from Mariah Carey's Ignore, like, block list. You know? Because calls aren't getting through. Mariah doesn't want to talk to you, Jennifer. So in 2016, I guess Demi Lovato decided that she was going to come to Jennifer Lopez's defense. So the reason why this drama is in 2016's Time Capsule is because it got like a resurgence in 2016. Mariah's legendary shade towards J.Lo.
You look so amazing. Oh, you're so sweet. What do you think about people still referencing I don't know her all these years later? I still don't know her.
Which was encapsulated by that decade-long comment of I don't know her. It found new life in 2016 because Mariah Carey was also apparently feuding with Ariana Grande. So anyway, she's feuding with Ariana Grande. Somehow that ticks off Demi Lovato. She jumps in on Instagram to defend J.Lo, which is interesting that she's jumping in to defend J.Lo. So it has nothing to do with Ariana. Okay, so she jumps in to defend J.Lo, and she called Mariah nasty, quote, nasty, for her treatment of Jennifer, which is I feel like that's like such a good insult to like call someone, you're nasty. Like that's just, like it can mean a lot of things. So she called her nasty. So Mariah's response when she was asked about Demi Lovato and Jennifer Lopez was, of course, you guessed it, I don't know them.
Demi Lovato, I didn't know this. She kind of shaded you on social media. She made assumptions about Ariana Grande, and she said Mariah's a legend and she's so talented, but she disses people. It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer. What would you say to Demi?
I don't know her either, and so I wouldn't say anything to her. And she should come up, introduce herself to me, say, "Here's my opinion. What do you think about it?" That's how you handle, okay?
Yeah.
And of course, this hilariously resurrected the Mariah Carey versus Jennifer Lopez beef for like a whole new generation of people who didn't know that it was happening. So J.Lo, of course, plays it cool. You know, you can tell she's always like in interviews, she seems like she's trying to like act like it's not a big deal. But I mean, it obviously is. And Mariah just continues to double down on not knowing her. And now she also doesn't know Demi Lovato. So that was once again in this time, 2016, meme gold. So in my opinion, Mariah Carey's shade remains unrivaled. I mean, it's literally unrivaled because she refuses to even so much as know her rivals. Queen. That's queen energy. I'm looking everywhere for Demi's tweets, what she got so upset about. I want to know what put her, like, why did Demi Lovato choose to step into like a 50-year-old's feud? What's happening? So I think I've pieced this together. So Demi must have been scrolling and she found a meme, and I'll put the meme here, and it says when you order it online versus when it arrives, and it has a young picture of Mariah Carey and then it has a young picture of Ariana Grande. So it's alluding to you ordered something nice and you got a budget version. And so Ariana Grande is the budget version of Mariah Carey, which I would say at the time was accurate. Mariah Carey's a legend and an icon and has earned that right through time. And I would say Ariana is on her way to potentially getting there. But I mean, it's not, I guess it's mean if you see it, but it's kind of true. So anyways, Demi Lovato, I guess, reposted it even. It looks like, I can't tell what's happening. But it says, she said, you got it the wrong way around, honey. Which is just like, let me tell you something. As somebody who has a big old mouth and can get myself into so many arguments and so much trouble, when you see situations like this, especially third parties, the people involved are not even here. They didn't post it. They're not involved. You then getting involved and just arguing with people to argue with people is never going to go well. Like some random person posted this meme and you're Demi Lovato and you're going to go argue with them. That's crazy to me. I think that's crazy. So then, of course, people, the Lamely, apparently. That's what Mariah Carey's fandom is called. The Lambs or the Lamely. I guess it's like Mariah had a little lamb. I don't know. I didn't know that was what they were called.
And for a long time now, they heard me saying, "Oh, Lamb, can you do this or do that?" as a joke between friends. Yet again, it's not like, whoa, this is so serious. But then the fans decided to call themselves Lambs. Right. So that's why when everybody's naming their fans now, I'm like, oh, what an original idea. It's incredible. Yeah. I wonder where it came from. No, but that's how it happened. So that's why it's.
I read somewhere. I don't know if
it's called. But anyway, so the Lamely got mad and they're like, you're bullying our queen sheep, Lamb. And so she was accused of being a bully and of shading Mariah. And so she had to come back out and clarify her comments and that she was accusing the legendary singer of being mean to other artists like Jennifer Lopez. So Demi's quoted as saying, I guess she tweeted, Mariah is a legend and is so talented, but constantly disses people. It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer, Ari did nothing wrong. Which again, this is a random meme someone posted. Mariah Carey did not make this meme and post it on the internet. So she's not attacking Ariana Grande. Now we do need to take into consideration, I don't know what mental status Demi's at this point, but it's just fascinating to watch a famous person argue with normal people and then lose. She loses. So then she posted, "This is why I posted what I did. Jen keeps it classy, but I'm not afraid to say shit. The woman is mean for no reason. Extremely talented? Yes. Superhuman? Possibly. Sorry if you hear my kids. Unnecessarily rude? Absolutely." That's information you don't have. You don't know why she responds that way. She's not actually saying anything rude. She's not said anything rude about Jennifer Lopez, as far as I know. The only thing she says is that she doesn't know her. I don't think that's nasty. It's petty, but it's not nasty. It's fine. She doesn't know her. So that just led to just an onslaught. So I went like, Y Entertainment, right now Yahoo Entertainment News. So someone's quoted, a tweet is quoted as saying, "Demi can't get attention for her music, so she has to get it by being messy on Instagram." Oh, I guess it was on Instagram. And somebody else said, "Every time I see a headline about Demi Lovato, it's because she's trying to somehow drag or belittle another woman." Somebody said Mariah's perfume sold more than Demi's albums. Shut the F up. Petty. So that happened, and it was just an interesting thing to watch. Imagine you're just talking crap on the internet about your favorite and least favorite celebrities, and then Demi Lovato shows up to tell you to stop it. You're being mean. It's crazy. Well, I guess she doesn't show up to tell you to stop it. She shows up to yell at Mariah Carey in your comments. Very strange. I'm back several hours later editing the same video, and I just found a Mariah clip that is completely unrelated to this video, other than the fact that it further solidifies the fact that she is my petty queen. And so I'm just going to put the clip here because it's hilarious, and I don't want to be the only one who saw it.
Now, obviously, you're very good at writing Christmas songs.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if I could run my tune past you.
I would have you keep it to yourself.
Okay.
To yourself.
Okay.
She did not have to do her like that. I would have you keep it to yourself. This is the best response. That's all I had to add. Lastly, I thought we'd look at some trends. What was trending? What was everyone into in 2016? So I have a list here of some of the top trends. So one trend was Snapchat filters. Now I find this fascinating because I don't have an artifact for these. So Snapchat filters, specifically the dog ears for days. 2016 was the height of Snapchat's reign, and its filters, they really became a cultural phenomenon. And of course, the most iconic was that puppy with the puppy ears and the way it made your face look cute and smoothed out, and the tongue that would come out and lick the camera. I never had a Snapchat, really. I did get one at some point, but I never really knew what to do. I was never confident. None of the people I was hanging out with really had them. And so I missed that train completely. But I remember downloading it just so I could play with filters. So I did have a Snapchat on to play with filters, but I never used it religiously. But I'm fascinated by this because everyone from random teenagers to Kardashians are wearing, we're using this dog filter just to look extra cute. But then crazy ones started coming out. And we had the one where you vomit the rainbow. Do you remember that? And then there was the face swap. We'll see if I can find a picture. I have a face swap of me and my husband, and it is horrifying. And if I can find it, I will put it here. If I can find it. If it's not there, you're welcome. I did you a favor. I'm not looking that hard. Because it's terrifying. And then there was the flower crown. Remember the flower crowns? We had the Coachella vibes. All of the allergies. And then people started doing goofy things. They were all doing it for the Snapchat. It was like a magical time. You didn't need makeup anymore. There's a filter for that. You don't have to put makeup on anymore. Selfie game is forever changed. it's a new world because of Snapchat. And it's funny, it's like so irrelevant kind of now. Like I know it's like the place where grifters kind of go, and like all the people that like were cool on the internet 10 years ago, like they're still there. Like David Dobrik and what's that guy with the kids, the McBrooms, all those people. So they're all still there on Snapchat, but it's not popping. Back here, it was still huge. It was really a huge thing. And I think the impact that it's had on culture is interesting. The impact that Snapchat had on culture, in that filters are so common now. It's weird to have no filters at all. Whereas I guess maybe it was common before that too, to edit and stuff, but I feel like it's never been simpler now. You don't even have to do anything except turn the filter on. Now, catfishes have a whole new level of tools in their arsenal now. Another trend was dabbing. Dabbing has always made me feel so cringe. It is so cringe to me. It started as a dance move in the Atlanta hip hop scene, and it very quickly became a global gesture of triumph and playfulness by 2016. So dabbing was, I'm not going to do it because I refuse. I have dignity. But it's basically posing, you're sneezing into your elbow, right? And then you put your other arm up. It was everywhere. Everyone was doing it. NFL players dabbed after touchdowns. Kids dabbed in class photos. Hillary Clinton even dabbed on national TV, proving that the trend had truly peaked, if not completely jumped the shark. By the end of 2016, even your mom knew how to dab. Oh gosh, and it was just a super memeable move, and it was a memeable way to celebrate anything that was even remotely good. You find $5 on the ground, hit the dab, finish your homework, dab. It became like a collective happy dance for people, I guess. It was short, it was sweet, it was a little silly, it was very much a flash in the pan. I think collectively we all agree it's cringe now, but back then it was popular, and it was a fun little moment that I didn't partake in, but I can acknowledge the fun of it. Our last trend, which will also probably come up, because I think I'm going to do this video in 2 parts. I'm going to do another part where we just look at old memes. I think that would be fun to just revisit 2016's most popular memes. And we'll have to look at that Mariah Carey one again too. But the last one that we're going to look at today, which we'll probably talk about again if we do the memes, is the mannequin challenge. Do you remember the mannequin challenge? So it was part viral video fad and part actual cultural moment. The mannequin challenge, it had teenagers and pro athletes and grandmas alike freezing in place like a mannequin. That was basically it. You just go really still. This trend was so big that it's worth mentioning it, I think, in this video and in the next, because it was just such a huge trend. I feel like it's probably like one of the first, like, maybe not, because when was the ice bucket challenge? I'm trying to think when the ice bucket challenge was. I wonder when, like, the first, there was like the cinnamon challenge. Like, what are the first like internet challenges in like the aughts? And then we move into the teens, the 20 teens. And you have challenges more like this, more like mannequin challenge, more like get a large group of people orchestrated in some way. It just became so big that it became like, it's like a real life party activity. Like people would get together, like this would be an activity you do at your party before the party's over, is we must film a mannequin challenge video. By November of 2016, you couldn't go to a party or a gathering without someone yelling mannequin challenge and then everyone striking a pose. High school cafeterias, wedding parties, newsrooms, everyone was getting in on it. And when the Dallas Cowboys did it on a plane, and then Adele did it at a concert with the whole audience, that's when you knew it had gone to a whole new level. It was the closest we got to a literal pause button on the chaos of 2016, was a few still silent moments set to music, bringing us all together in a viral tableau. So that was the mannequin challenge. And I can't really play one because it's directly associated with a song, and so copyright. But maybe I'll put a clip here of one with my own music. Maybe I'll sing the song. We'll see. All right, that's what I have for you today. We have revisited 2016. We've looked at some of the things that I missed while I was busy evangelizing the world. It's been really fascinating. So, if you enjoyed this video, I would love to know if you enjoyed it and you would like me to make more. Would you like to do a meme review time capsule edition, meaning we go back in time and we look at old memes from past years like 2016. So let me know in the comments below if you haven't subscribed and you would like to and you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you subscribe. It really helps out our channel. I know none of us subscribe to anything anymore, but it does help channels. And so I'm always trying to pay attention to who I'm not subscribed to that I watch all the time so that I subscribe. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. It truly helps. And I will see you guys later in the next video. Bye-bye.